Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in again. It's been a little while since I talked about general home automation and or smart home automation updates and new features, new products. So I wanted to bring you another video with all the latest from the home automation news world. Now, something that's pretty interesting to me is the list of devices that Apple is building, and they're building it with different partners, different companies, and what they're doing is they're building into Airplay a list of speakers that are what I would call the premium speaker companies. So some companies have been added here recently. The one that most interests me is Sonos, because they will include the Sonos One with Airplay 2 capability here very soon. Now, this is something that I would say relates to those of you with an Amazon Echo, but it's not directly related. We have seen a patent filing by Amazon that actually shows ZigBee protocol going over your power lines in your home. So this is similar to what we've seen with power over Ethernet, or Ethernet over power devices rather. Those devices, I have some in my home. They're fantastic. They do use a little bit of power, but the security within that is a lot higher because there's less users of that type, and obviously this is not a signal traveling over the air, so it's not something easy for hackers to pick up. Now, what we see from this filing is that Amazon wants to use the ZigBee protocol to essentially give them the capability of entering into your home, locking and unlocking your front door, and giving you that capability yourself. So they're developing devices that allow them to do this with ZigBee over power. Something that I think a lot of people have been waiting for over the whole world here. The Hue Sync application has now been released for everyone to go ahead and go get. Now, what that does is allow you to synchronize your Hue lights, and you know, this is going to work better with some of the colored lights, but it's going to allow you to synchronize those with all kinds of devices. Now, something that's been released recently is the ability to synchronize with computer screens, both Mac and Windows screens, and give you that variable lighting as you're doing different things on your computer. If you've been watching the channel here, you know all about the Wyze Cam. That's the $20 US camera from Wyze, and we've seen it recently integrated with If This Then That, and you know, I'm really enjoying having those cameras in my home. I'm finding them great. What they've released this week, and this is just a couple days ago, is the Wyze Cam Pan. And one of the pitfalls of the Wyze Cam is it wasn't able to pan automatically. You couldn't do it through the app. There was no motor or servo basically to turn the camera. Now, for an additional $10, so this is all of a $30 camera now, you now get the pan and tilt capabilities within the Wyze Cam Pan. All right, so Elgato Eve has been a bit of a different company, and I'm enjoying a lot of their products. I'm finding that they have a very different product line in the world of smart home and home automation. Now, what they've released recently is two new devices. Those devices are the HomeKit Eve Aqua Smart Sprinkler and the Eve Flare Smart Light. Now, the Aqua is a $100 sprinkler here. It's a smart sprinkler is what they're calling it. It's essentially Bluetooth enabled and therefore can connect to HomeKit like most of Elgato Eve's products. Something else that they've announced is the Eve Flare, and this device is essentially a portable large lamp that you can move around your home. It's got a battery life of about 6 hours once you take it off the charger, and you're able to control it again through HomeKit. So a couple of interesting products here. Now this week, this might be my favorite update, and to me it says Apple is hitting back hard. Now, we know the HomePod has struggled a little bit. We're seeing the new updates. That's getting a little bit better. I'm even starting to consider whether or not I go out and purchase one of those at this point. But the big thing to me is near field communication on our iOS 12 devices. Now, all of your iPhones 6 and greater have near field communication capability. That's why we're able to tap with Apple Pay. Now, what they're essentially saying, through iOS 12, we're going to be able to open, lock, unlock our smart locks at home that are HomeKit enabled. And I think this is something that we're going to see extend into other products. I can imagine coming up to lights and tapping near a light or hovering near a light and having that light turn on. And you know, the list goes on. I'm sure we'll be able to do that with HomePod. I'm sure we're going to be able to do that with a lot of HomeKit enabled devices. So right now, this is my favorite announcement this week in the world of home automation, and I think Apple kind of wins this week for this announcement. All right, everyone, thanks for watching. Of course, we bring these to you all the time, so I'd love to have you on the channel. Please do click the subscribe coming at the end of this video here. Thanks, everyone, for watching. We'll see you next time.